Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV, starring the one and only wonderful Dr. JACALYN. It's a prestigious place where world-class influencers and experts meet, and where you'll find the most trusted advisors and coaches for all things in life and business. Visit usaglobaltv.com to sign up for our newsletter, get the value you need, and be first in line to learn about events and giveaways and other valuable content. Connect with us. Email Dr. JACALYN at usaglobaltv.com to talk about how you can become part of USA Global TV. That's USA Global TV, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK. I'm the president, founder, and chief listening officer here at our network, where we currently have 29 live broadcasts a week. Super excited for this show, entrepreneur, and so much more. Once a month, I get together with a dear friend, Justin MIRIGLIANI, and we do this show together, and I learned so much about him. If you haven't tuned in before, please go over to our YouTube channel after the show and find the playlist Entrepreneur and so much more so that you can see all of our other episodes. So let's bring out an incredible entrepreneur. Justin is so successful in so many areas. I have to lead off with how he treats other people, how he leads his life. He is really a very heart-centric person. And so he puts his family first, and he treats his clients like family as well. Let's bring him out, and then let's bring out our special guest afterwards. Welcome, Justin.
Hey, Dr. JACALYN, how are you?
I'm well, thanks. How are you?
Good, good. We're just in another rainy fall day today, right? I mean, it's been terrible over the last couple of days here.
Oh my gosh, it's I sent you some pictures of what's going on here in Avalon, New Jersey. It's just the bay looks like the ocean, and it's just, it makes you appreciate how strong Mother Nature is. And we were talking before the show, just we have so much to be grateful for. So many people really lost everything. So our hearts go out to them. Yeah,
especially Puerto Rico and Florida and all these places that get hit. It's just unbelievable. And the scary thing is we're not even halfway through hurricane season, so there's still opportunities for more storms. So it's pretty scary.
It is, especially with what some people don't believe to be climate change. It's I'll be leaving to go back. Woo, it's real. I'll be leaving to go back to Florida, where it is hurricane season. I think until maybe the end of November. I'm not sure.
It is. Yep.
Yeah. So we're both dressed in black tonight, thinking along the same lines, which I love. And you've been up to so much. And I would just love for you to give our audience some background about the work that you do, because you bring so much knowledge and expertise to your clients. You'll be sharing more of that on the show after this Talking Heads. But for people who haven't met you, they don't know about the charity you have, they don't know about the documentary, they don't know about your long history in broadcasting, please do tell them more.
Well, thank you, Dr. JACALYN. Yes. So I started a company in 2009. Actually, that was when I incorporated, but I've been training since 1999. And the company is Just For You Training and Consulting, or website www.justforyoutc.com. And I train people in a lot of different things. I train people on computer programs like Excel and Word and PowerPoint, Visio, Project, Outlook, bunch of programs. Teams is a big one right now that people really are into. I train all of those. But even more importantly, I've gotten into training a lot of the what we call soft skills, things like time management, project management, building a team, empowerment, giving and receiving positive and constructive feedback. Those are really, really important skills that I think the world is starting to understand is as important as it really is. I think that's been missing in a lot of different cultures around not only the US but the world. So I've been getting more into those types of trainings as well, which is really rewarding for me to be able to do that. And as Dr. JACALYN said, I do run a charity. And 7 years ago, last week, I had my entire large intestine removed, and I have an ileostomy, and it's permanent due to ulcerative colitis. So because of that, I started a charity called Checkmates Charitable Association. Website www.checkmatescharity.com. And mainly what we do is celebrity hockey games. We have NHL celebrity hockey games where we raise money and we try to support not only Crohn's Colitis Foundation, but also United Ostomy Associations of America for those who have inflammatory bowel disease, Crohn's disease, and ulcerative colitis, and also those who have an ostomy. I have an ileostomy, but there's a colostomy. A lot of people know that one a little bit more. And then there is a urostomy for those who've had issues with the bladder cancer, things like that. So I try to raise money and awareness. I think that's a big part of it too. These are groups of people that really are invisible. I think that bathroom diseases, in quotes, are not something that people like to talk about. It's more of an embarrassing thing. And I think because of that stigma, we don't receive the money and of course the awareness that we should. So I'm trying to change that, or be at least part of the change. And yes, I've started up on my documentary called Keenan's Kids. It's about the 1984 to 1988 Flyers. They were led by Mike Keenan. He was the coach at the time, and they were the youngest team in pro sports, went all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals, and just an amazing group of people, group of young men who grew up and together as NHL players, and inspired a whole generation of hockey players in the inner city of Philadelphia. So the documentary is really about that symbiotic growth of the kids who grew up in these neighborhoods and the team that grew up on the ice. And there's a lot of just incredible parts of the story. They lost their MVP, Pelle Lindbergh, in a car accident in Keenan's second year, and somehow they lose this key part of the team and turn it around and almost win a Stanley Cup. So it's exciting to be a part of it. I've had several of the players in my home, and we've recorded some interviews. The trailer is up if anybody wants to see it. It's if you go onto YouTube and type in Keenan's Kids, the trailer should come right up. So I'm excited about that. We have a lot of people who have because of COVID, it slowed us down a lot, and people have asked us, are you still doing this, or is it still something that is in the works? And absolutely, it's just that we're getting back in gear now. So a lot of stuff, a lot of irons in the fire. And I think that's how most entrepreneurs are.
I love it. And especially the smile on your face, Justin. And, I think about you often. I have ulcerative colitis, and it says hello, it's back. It's been here for about a month. And the good news is I lost 7 pounds in 2 weeks. Yay. I'm happy about
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Put the positive spin.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
And we know that going through these types of things, it affects our mental health. And we've got a guest backstage, a good friend of yours, someone you've known for a long time, whose work really does help with that creative spirit. And I think he's going to inspire a number of people with what he's going to share today. So I'm going to spotlight you to introduce Joe Del Campo.
Well, Joe Del Campo and I have known each other now for over 30 years. And I was like the little brother. Joe's a little older than I am. And he was such a great hockey player when we played together. We played at the gym in St. Monica's back in South Philly. It was floor hockey. But to us, it was like being in the NHL. And Joe was probably the best player in the league when I joined. He could smash that puck and rip it really well. So I really looked up to him. And he's a great guy, and we reconnected over the years. He was really so supportive when I had to go through my surgery, and sent messages and made sure I was okay, and just an amazing person. And I didn't know this years ago that he was into photography as much as he was, but he's very into photography. He's a great photographer. He's really building an incredible website, and I just want to introduce Joe and have him take it away and tell us all about what he does, because he is really, really good.
All right. Without further ado, Joe Del Campo, come on out. Hi.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me both.
Yeah,
there were some good old days there, Justin. Yeah.
I still have some welts and scars from it, but
I feel it when I get up every day. I kind of walk like the Tin Man, but the memories are there forever, and I cherish them all.
Yeah, me too.
Some good times.
It's so refreshing to be around people who have known each other and have continued on a friendship for all these years. I really congratulate you on that.
He was a gritty player himself. I used to call him Scrapper. He was as tenacious could be. He's responsible for a few of my joints in the morning, I guess, where I got to walk a little bit to finally straighten up. So, again, kudos.
Same to you, Joe. Joe, tell us a little bit what you're doing now with photography. How did you get started? What was the impetus to get you to go through this route?
Yeah, sure. So, I can remember far back, 1978, we were in Walt Disney World. Me, my three other brothers, mom and dad, of course. And like my other brothers, my dad treaded water. I'm sure same thing with you. And, he was big with photography himself. He started out with a Polaroid, then he went to 35 millimeter. And I remember on that trip, I wanted to emulate him, of course. But I had an uncle that lived across the street, my Uncle Sal. He lent me his camera. It wasn't the greatest of camera, but again, as a 12-year-old, I was like, wow, I'm right near my dad now. And the camera had 8 images in it. It had 8, it was a 35 millimeter. So, wow, I had 8 pictures. I wasn't sure what I was going to choose. So I was choosing what I was going to shoot. But I remember the first picture I took was of the Contemporary Walt Disney World. And I would love to find that. So, from there, I remember being around my father a lot. Whenever we would go on a trip, I remember how methodical he was, if you will. He was always prepared. He was always gentle with his equipment. So it kind of stayed with me. I remember wherever I went, I always had a camera. And I look back now with pictures of, buddies of mine. I went on a cruise with this and that. And, other places. And I says, wow, I'm always carrying a camera. And I got my first 35 millimeter in 1984 as a Christmas gift from my brothers. And, took it to the Phillies game, shot some pictures there. And, again, it's just something that I guess I was brought up with, and it just stuck with me, so to speak. And now it's a very big part of my life. I'm really proud of what I do and how far I've come.
Congratulations, Joe. I love when people are passionate about what they're doing. And I'm wondering, just for people who are watching or listening, they're thinking, oh, well, I have an iPhone or I have an Android and I can take pictures with that. What's the difference between taking pictures with a professional camera as opposed to a phone?
Well, Doctor, it's kind of a lose-lose situation. If someone asks you, what type of camera do you use? And you tell them, then they want to go out and buy the camera. If you tell them that you use any different camera, well, they can go out and they want to shoot, with their phones or whatever. So there's what I do is not necessarily ideal for this person. It might not necessarily be. I can't explain what I do. I didn't reinvent the wheel per se, like I said, before in a Facebook post. The difference I've had every iPhone since the 3rd one. And I always tell people, and I have the most recent one, the 13. There's, I've had people come up to me. They all know me in work. They say, oh, yeah, you can see, the iPhone, you can shoot in the dark now. And, I did a photo shoot with the iPhone 13. I made a video of it and all. The good thing, here's what I tell people. The good about the iPhone shooting at night in dark mode is that every shot comes out perfect. The bad thing about the iPhone shooting dark mode is everything comes out perfect. So that's just me. And this is what I live by. I think it's great that people go out and shoot photos. There is, I've done research. I've read videos. I've read testimonials on this. I've watched videos. My work goes further than just clicking a button. I'm constantly consumed now. And being quite of an introvert, I have the autonomy to do it. I don't know if that's good or bad, but with me, I found that every shot is perfect. And I'm not satisfied with that. You lose the hues in a picture. You lose the saturation. You lose the soft glows. with an SLR, single lens reflex, or a mirrorless camera, which I don't use. I'm still stuck in the mud. Single lens reflex. I have enough equipment. So again, it's kind of, I'm very particular what I say and who I say it to, because I've had people say, "What kind of camera do you use?" And so I'm kind of like, I don't mind doing it here, but you know what I'm trying to say. So I'm the type of person, you could call me, I guess, like the shoe repair guy. You don't see too many shoe repairmen anymore. What do people do when their shoes break or they wear out? They go buy another shoe. So I love going out, and again, this is time consuming. So I love the soft glows of a sunset. One of my favorite things to do is to walk on the beach at 5 o'clock with my camera in my hand. When my camera's in my hand, I'm the best that I could be. My whole world changes when I have that camera in my hand. So I like the differences in the ISOs, the shutter speeds, and most people are bored to death over this when I talk. The guys on work razz me about it, and also I'm kind of careful what I say. But you're purist, and I'd like to say that I'm moving towards that. And there isn't a lot of us left, like the older generation. That's what keeps me going anyway. I love the difference. I'm not, the iPhone is add water and start. That's it in a nutshell. That's not for me. It's for, so with over 125 iPhones currently activated in the world, when someone texts me the words, "Can I buy that?" There's no price of the satisfaction that I get when I hear that. People that know, they see the difference. And I've had, my God, so many compliments. My Facebook friends themselves give me the confidence. It's unbelievable. Justin, obviously, you're included. Doctor, you're included as well. My friends, my best friend, constantly. And, it inspires me to go on. I don't mean to take so much time, but you did ask. I guess this is like kind of bottled up inside. But the difference is, like I said, I love, and I've been on, if I may, if I'm talking too much, stop me.
No, you're fine.
I can't tell you, my shoots are generally planned. So I never go out and get in the car and say, well, let me go here. Well, let me go there. I have, everything I do, as you see with this tonight, I had it planned. You see the questions I asked. It's the way I was raised. Andre Agassi, the tennis player from years ago, had a saying, plan your work your plan. And they're my words to live by. And it's worked. I've gone on, my God, 6 or 7 photo shoots in the last year alone, where I said, I don't know why I'm even driving here. I'd be talking to myself in the truck. And I'll come back, load up and oh my God, like people, and it's always the images that I say, it's like the cook that isn't impressed with their cooking. Like there's a lot of times, like I'll be honest, like I'll say, and I'll get like, tons of compliments, and it's always the pictures, it seems, that you would least expect. So it's an incredible hobby. It really is. And the exciting part is you never know what's around the corner. And that's it fascinates me. It really does. It's like I said, I just hope that God sees through to it, that I could continue to do it. I've worked with 4 charities successfully in the last 12 or 13 years. The Smile Train, Children with Deformed Palates, the Dementia Society of Philadelphia. I've worked with Susan G. Komen, breast cancer research, and currently I have a book that I published that made on my own. It's not published, for the St. Jude's Children's Research Cancer Fund, which I'm extremely proud of. I really am. It's a great feeling to know that your work is helping a child. There's no greater, in my opinion, no greater thing to help a child with cancer. Forget about the money part. So that's basically it. It's hard to go on and on, but I guess it's bottled up inside me. Like I said, I'm pretty much of an introvert, and my friends that know me enough know that. Like I have friends, but I'm careful. So it gives me the autonomy to do the things, I'm constantly immersed in this hobby now. I really am.
And Joe, tell us a little bit. I know you talked about the charities a little bit, but how much of the book that you made goes to the children? I think it's an amazing number. So I wanted you to.
So the book is, I have it here. It's a 20-page, 20 images that I have shot over the last year and a half, 2 years, some older. To give you an example.
And I have it, by the way. It's a great
yes. This is the back, from front to back. So what I do is, the book is $60. It's a hardback book. It's, like I said, it's some of the more interesting photos that I've taken. 60%, and I'm about to do more than that now, goes to the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. Pretty good shot here. The parachute, the other side, Longwood Gardens.
Nice.
So, stuff like that. And I've sold them. Right now I've had about 7 or 8 sales on them. Thank you again, Justin. So it's it's a great feeling. It really is, to be able to send that out. And like I said, I'm about to up the contribution from 50 to 75%. From there. And like I said, as far as photos, like I said, different sizes. My website, I have a website that I built in the summer of 2020. There's currently over 210 galleries in that website right now. When I counted them out today, I could not believe that I had that many galleries in there. I also have a page that I renamed. It's ticker. It's a ticker. So it's the head page, JDC, my initials, photog.com. So if you go on there like every other day or so, I call it the ticker. It changes from time to time, and people will go in. So currently I have all the numbers from last year are up in comparison from last year. I just made, I think it was 20,000 page visits. I was flattered by that. I didn't get the 20,000 page visits until November of 2021. So it's moving in the right direction. Again, it's, as we talked about, Justin, it's a labor of love. I call it like a big house plant. So when you neglect the plant a day or two, what happens? It starts to wilt. You can feel it like, you start to see it, it's crying out. As soon as you water that plant, pops up. And it's the same thing with the website. It's a very sensitive following, if you will, to get up and see visitors from Paris, France, viewing your work. Again, it's a fantastic feeling. It really is. If you would have told me this that website started out on a whim. It was a joke. And I was up till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I said, well, let's see where it goes. And, I sell on there from time to time. And, people from India, China, watch, look at the images on there. So it's a great feeling. It really is.
It should be. It's amazing to me as an entrepreneur that you're giving that much away, 50 to 75%. I mean, it's so rare that you find somebody that will give away half to more than half of their income. And this is not easy work. I mean, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of effort, and it costs money. I mean, you have to buy new equipment, right? You have to update equipment, update software.
Well, sure.
Things like
There's,
that.
I'm always looking to improve. So the book is an exclusive for me. I won't do that with, per se, my other images.
Sure.
Because, in the end, I would like to make money on it.
And you should.
It's hard to extort money from people. You know that as well as I do in 2022. They don't really understand. So when I post, this picture here was shot in Gloucester, Massachusetts in June of 2022. This is one of the most beautiful images I've ever shot. The trip itself was an incredible experience for me. I realized I finally got a taste of what an actual photographer goes through, not only for a day trip, but a 5-day trip. And when I tell you, when I came home, I had a week off after. I wasn't right until Wednesday or Thursday of that following week because of walking with the equipment and, lenses and, shutter speeds. It takes a lot out of you. It really does.
Sure.
But it's worth every penny. I wouldn't trade it for anything. And I, hope to go back. So this image is a perfect example of what I sell, if I may. Obviously, I have smaller formats of the same thing. This is Ocean City, New Jersey, in 2020. So what I sell, I don't think people understand because they don't read the full description. This is a 20 by 30 image. Right now, it weighs about a pound. So I can hit you over the head with this. It's double mounted, and it's coated with an E-surface paper, and there's a fine linen texture that's applied to it. It is absolutely gorgeous. And what that does is the E-surface protects from fingerprints and UV rays over the course of time. But again, people, there are people that care. I've had, multiple sales from people. I have a doctor that purchased 3 images from me. It's pretty cool to see one of your images in a hospital room, their hospital bed on the wall. So, those who know, and I really can't control. You see what I put out there. You see what I print. It's a very, very hard thing to do. Again, in 2020, primarily, most people have a camera with them all the time. And I think that, that kind of marred the industry too. But there is a difference, in my opinion. And I'm not just being conceited, but those who know.
Right. And Dr. Jackson, I got to tell you.
Yeah.
So we've been talking about my book for so long, and it's taken forever because of COVID, especially, to try to get it published and everything. And I needed to set up a photo shoot. I talked to Joe, and Joe and I had the most ridiculous negotiation going on. He quoted me a price, and I'm saying that's too low. And then he's saying, no, you're too high. So we were negotiating backwards.
It's kind of funny.
He's saying, no, that's too much.
I'm looking forward to it. It's quite a challenge.
Did you come to an agreement?
We did. We came to an agreement, and we're going to do it in November, the first weekend in November.
I have I have 2 or 3 photo shoots coming up before that. So I'm really thrilled with how far I've progressed. And again, God willing, I'm only going to add to it because I have integrity. Everything I do, whether it be selling or whether planning something, I have a photo shoot this Saturday, and I was there 2 weeks ago to scope out the area. When I told the people, they were really impressed. They were, so that's what I do.
You're one of the most methodical people I know. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, that's, what, I've been criticized. Oh, you can't do anything spontaneous. I'm not that way. I'm not that way. Don't have to be. Chance favors the prepared mind. So I'm enjoying it. It's been quite a journey. It really has. I'm really proud of my accomplishments. I take great pride in the final product, as you can see.
Joe, is it a connection, I guess, with your dad still? I know your dad passed away years ago, and I know your mom passed away not so many years ago, about what, 2 or 3 now?
It'll be 3, the 13th, actually.
Yeah. So is this a connection to your parents?
Well, I'd like to think that, your upbringing, obviously. So, yeah, I've had 2 grounded parents. I wasn't a walk in the park by any chance growing up. 3 great brothers that inspired me. We didn't know anything else. We, everything. My father, I'm geared more towards, like when I do these Facebook things, who's behind you, who's watching over you. My father comes up all the time. So I've been told that, I act like him. I look at his print and I even print like him. So I guess that's hereditary too. So, one of my fondest memories, again, not to go on and on with him, but primarily, if he sees what's going on now, he would not believe it. One of my fondest memories, 4 or 5 o'clock on a Saturday, he'd come back from Sterling Craft on Passyunk Avenue, and he'd come in the kitchen, take out his reading glasses. He'd open up an envelope with pictures, and I'd watch him go through the pictures. And then he'd hand them to me, and he'd always say, "Get them by the corners, don't fingerprint them." And it was like, like I said, he was always with a camera, and it was how he was with his equipment. Even as far back as 1978, he tread water in my eyes. Everything he did, everything was careful. And he was as strong as an ox. He was a brick mason, my father. He had hands like stone. So, but when it had to be careful, he was careful. And that's something that I think I inherited. I'd like to inherit. He is with me every time I go on a shoot. And my mother as well, but more so my father, because, I remember him taking pictures of us, the four brothers, and he would take forever taking a picture. And I remember my brothers getting mad and this and that, but I didn't get mad. There's a reason why. He was, he was very, very, I got his camera equipment right in there too. When I had the job of picking up his case and taking it or bringing it to the car, it was like I was carrying a bag of dynamite, like God forbid you drop it, So yeah, it's kind of funny. Some good memories.
Yeah. I think, if I'm not mistaken, didn't you have some shots from the Flyers parade in 74 or 75?
I didn't. He probably does.
Yeah, he took some of you when you were a kid.
Yeah, I do have one of those somewhere, yeah.
I thought so.
46 pounds of me, yeah. I think so. I think it was on a Polaroid, too. Red Toughskins jeans on. I'll dig it out. I'll show it to you at some point.
Yeah, I think I've seen it before. It's awesome.
It's, like I said, you got to get it from somebody. I mean, it's great. Parents need their father. Children need their father. They need their mother. They need their father. It's very important, in my opinion. So, like I said, it's been quite a journey. I learned from it, and I just hope to continue. Like I said, I'm really thrilled with how far when people come up to me, want to buy a photo. There's no more. Or like yourself, when you asked me to do a photo shoot, if you would have told me that like a few years ago. So I know that I'm moving in the right direction. And I know that who does ask me know the work that I put into it. It's just hard to get through to the amount of people that I want to get through. But I'll keep working on it.
Joe, you shared so many things that I wanted to comment on. First of all, I love the analogy about the shoemaker. Because shoemakers, when you find a good one, that they are doing something that nobody else is doing. So that was a great analogy. And then also, I love how you showed the picture and the fact that the thickness of it, and then the coating, and then the protection from the UV rays. I have right here in this house several pictures that are destroyed because they sun damage and fingerprints all over them. And you can't, it's just a shame. You can't replace that. But my question for you is, what is it you're most passionate about photographing? Is it scenes like what we have here? Is it people? Does it not matter?
Water, boats, rust. This picture is me. It took me.
And can you tell us where that is?
So that's Motif 1. It's in Rockport, Massachusetts. It's a trip that I had to cancel for about 3 or 4 years until finally I was able to say this year, this is it. I'm doing it. And I went. So it's arguably the most photographed and hand-painted image in the country. I have a picture of it. Is absolutely one of the most beautiful places. When I got to it, I went up to touch it. I couldn't believe that I was there. I have a picture of, and I'll share it with you down, during the week or so, if you wish, of when I went there the first night I was there. It was the trip of a lifetime for me, a lifetime. It was life altering in so many ways. But I have a picture of a hand painting artist in front of me on the boat ramp leading into the water. So I'm behind him, and I took a picture of him painting Motif 1. And, it was really beautiful from what I could see. This trip, like I said, it's one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. I met so many people up there. Now, again, me being an introvert, I came out of my shell up there. And part of it was, again, the shoemaker effect, walking around with a digital SLR camera. In this day and age, again, with over 125 million iPhone activations. So when they see you with that, there's a few things that come up. It's an attention draw, and they want to know, what you're shooting. I've had at least a half dozen people over the last 2 or 3 months say, I wanted to get into that. I was telling my husband, I wanted to get into that. I was telling my brother, I wanted to get, but a lot of people don't do it. So it's definitely a draw. And I don't work with anyone. Again, I'm kind of an introvert. When I've had people offer to come with me to do photo shoots, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You'll never, ever come with me on a photo shoot because my mind can't work the way it wants to work. And what I see, I'm sorry, go ahead, Doctor.
I was just going to say, Justin, you've known Joe for 30 plus years. Is he really an introvert? I'm not getting that.
He's a mix, I think.
Okay.
It depends on the situation.
You hit it on the head.
Yeah.
I'm selective who I'm with.
Yeah, and I saw you as a leader when I played with you, when we played together. I mean, you were the best player in the league at the time, and I think everybody kind of followed your lead. You're like the Pied Piper.
Yeah, I mean, I was also 25 then, so, young and not stupid, but you know how that goes. With more white hair you get. I'm at an age now, like I said, I'm always open to meet somebody, friendship or whatever, but you got to raise my eyebrow today in this day and age. It's not that I think that I'm better than anybody. Most of my weekends, I'm a single guy, not to get into personal whatever, but I'm by myself. And you get used to that kind of living. And this allows me the autonomy to create, if I had 2 or 3 kids running around, I'm not going to be able to be doing this the way I want to.
Sure. That's a great point.
And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just the nature of it. It really is. It's a solitary hobby. I have friends. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not alone all the time. But when it comes to this, like on the weekend or whatever, forget it. You won't get a hold of me. If I have somewhere to go, and like I have a shoot or whatever, I'm like, I'll stay in a room and prepare. That's just the way I am. Kind of a mental case when it comes to that.
Because it shows in your work, though.
I care. That's why. Yeah.
It does show in your work. Joe, where will you go? Where will you travel to do a photo shoot for people who are watching? They're thinking, I'd like to contact him. Do you have any geographic limits?
Not really. I mean, I'm not, if the funds are there, then sure. If it's a hire, sky's the limits. I'm always open for, I've been told, see the world. This trip was an eye-opener for me. It made the year, probably the next 2 or 3 years. I hope to go back. I want to go back in the fall. The people there couldn't be nicer. I was in my glory when I was there. I mean, that's my comfort zone. I must have shot probably 15 to 2,000 images when I was there. That's all. Even now, I still look at the pictures, and there's still sometimes I can't believe I was there. Halibut State Point Park, you saw the video. Sometimes, Hammond Castle, a castle on the beach. I mean, I felt like I was dreaming, So right, I'm able to, why do I do this? Well, I like to share what I see. So my motto with my website is seeing the image before the image. And what that means is I'll go out on the shoot and I might see something that'll stick out to me, but it might not stick out to you or Justin, and vice versa. There is no right or wrong to an image, just so that you know that. I've read seminars, books on this. So somebody's always going to critique your photography. I'm past that now. If it's not good enough for you, then it's not good enough for you. I'm going to continue to do what I do. I'll always be able to learn, But it's, again, plan your work, work your plan. This is me.
Thank you, Joe, for your transparency. I'm wondering if there are any other beautiful pieces of your work that you want to share with us. I see there's a couple there in the front.
Well, yeah, I don't know whether, let me see. So this one here, this is the first time this is being shown. This is Cape Ann. Trying to get the glare out of the way. That's it's like a jetty, a giant jetty. First time anyone's seeing this.
Amazing.
Again, this is Rockport, Massachusetts.
Awesome, Joe.
Here. And then this one here is also, this is one of my favorite shots. You could see the marine in the background over the boulders.
Beautiful.
So first time being shown. And I believe I showed you, this is Longwood Gardens. I call this partnership. I shot this last year. So if you look close, this is a fall shot, really beautiful. I don't know if you've ever been here. And towards the bottom is, from what it seems, an older couple looking out.
Oh, wow.
So
wow,
I called
it's
it
beautiful.
partnership. Yeah. So, you know, it's things like that. This is an example of, I'm not going to get up on a Saturday and say, I'm going to go shoot this. And that's the beauty of it. It was there then, but it might not be there ever again. And that's what's so fascinating with this hobby. And it's infinite. It really is. And as far as what you use, you know, I'm all for, you know, it's great that people, you know, take photos, whatever you use, that's you. This is me. I don't compare. I don't critique. I see a lot, but I do what works for me. It's my game plan.
That makes me
It's
smile.
unbelievable. Yeah, and you know, you think you really didn't have any training in this. I mean, this is something that you learned from your dad, and you worked on yourself and developed it on your own. It's very rare that you see somebody get to this level of skill without having, you know, a lot of training.
Well, I've been told that I have a gift. You know, I'm a pretty modest person. I work hard on what I do. There are times when I come home, I'm up 5 o'clock in the morning. I work a full-time job. I'm tired when I come home. There's times where I don't want to load stuff on the website, but I do. There's times I might sleep 5 hours and get up 5 o'clock in the morning, but it's the satisfaction. I read, I watch videos, you know, trial and error. It just isn't something that just, you know, you read one page and boom, you go out.
Right.
It's like you said, Justin, it's a labor of love. And when you put the time in, I think it shows. Hard work pays off. Like I said, when someone approaches me with those 4 words, can I buy that? You know, I mean, I kiss you, believe me when I tell you. And it's not because of, and I can go on and on with this. And oh my God, I can't believe I spent this much time. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
You tell me when. But it's hard to. It's not because of the money, and unfortunately, like I had somebody say to me, and I'm careful what I say now. I don't bring up certain things, but everything comes back to money. They think you're making $1 million,
right?
And that's not the case. You know, I'm making money, but it's, you know, it's hard to. They don't understand. It's not. For example, if I sell you an image, yeah, okay, you're paying me, but it's the satisfaction of what went into this.
Right.
This wasn't just, you know, just a snap and then go home. It's different, and I don't want to get into it because, again, it's my work process. But those who know. If that makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
It does. And we have some comments I just want to share. Nori the Kitchen, hi, hello. And I think she please come to my home, I guess, to take photographs. We also have our dear friend, Katie Elizabeth Stelfox. Nice to have you with us. She's joining us from the UK. Your photography is great.
Thank you. Thank you. It's nice to hear.
Around the world, Joe. That's pretty amazing.
It's amazing.
It's pretty amazing.
I know your site. You're all over the world.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I got up Paris, France. China, Greece, India. It's really amazing. It really is. I must have about 10 or 12 countries offhand. Japan.
Sensational.
It's really something. It really is. The UK, like there. So, again, it's, hard work pays off. It's a compliment. People are viewing, I'll say to myself, wow, that's unbelievable. Like I got up, Paris, France. There are a few other ones that I can't remember offhand, but it's going around the world. So it's something that I started that, I have to continue now. And it started as, on a whim. And now it's, Jakarta's another one. Indonesia. Must be something with the Far East, which I'd love to see at one day. But
you might. You never know.
You know what? My options are always open, because if you would have told me that we'd be doing this 6 months ago, I would have said no. If you would have told me that I'd be sitting next to this picture a year ago after canceling this trip, I would tell you, yeah, right, sure. But you gotta be open-minded. You have to be ready. If you would have told me, you asked me to do a photo shoot, I've been overwhelmed, and it's even as recent as the last month and a half or so, and I never would have believed it. So the opportunity is always there. Right. You have to keep yourself available, especially if you're handing out business cards or whatnot, which you never know. I've had people come to me asking me to do a photo shoot for their son's baseball team. I did a photo shoot at a game for a son and daughter years ago.
Nice.
A few other ones. So, step in the right direction. I'm optimistic.
Well, I know I'm thrilled for you, and
thank you.
The expertise that you have shows, and especially your passion and just sharing some of your process. What is the best way for people to hire you?
Well, you can go through, my website, the contact is there. JDC Photog, I have a contact number. I can give out the number, but it's on the website. So it's JDC Photog, stops at G, PHOTOG.com. And the contact is on there. And there's also an email address, my Gmail address. So, it's always being checked. It's all the time. They could even leave, like I said, via an email.
Thank you, Joe. It's been an absolute pleasure meeting you.
Thank you.
And
thank you, Doctor.
Wishing you continued success.
Thank
and we
you
have
so
a question. Katie wants to know if you have Facebook. And Katie, on the promo that you probably see for the show, Joe's Facebook is on there, so you can connect with him if you look at the show promo.
Yeah, sure. They can meet me through Facebook too. Joe Del Campo.
Hey, Joe, did you ever think we'd be sitting here like this 30 some years ago?
No, not after that 91 hiccup, but the bygones be bygones. But this has really been fascinating. You both look wonderful too. Gosh, I can't tell you, like I said, I've been pining for this. Justin, I must have told you God knows how many times, but it has been quite an honor. It really has, and I hope I fulfilled that promise.
You've done more than that. It's been fantastic.
Above and beyond. Really. I really wasn't sure we were ever going to see you, Joe. You said you were coming on the show, and I was like, when's he going to sign up? But everything is in the timing it's supposed to be.
It was a rough start, but we got off the ground. Awfully sorry for the hiccup in the beginning.
You were fine.
You were great. Nobody even knows. Everything is fine.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate it, and I hope you are okay down there. And again, thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you so much for your time.
I still look up to you, man. Even at 47, I'll be 48. Still look up to you.
Hey, I look up to you too, man. After what you went through,
I appreciate it.
You're my hero too, man.
Thank you.
Believe me when I tell you. You're looking at a guy that don't even like to go get a cavity filled. So I didn't forget either. I didn't forget. Believe me. Yeah, I'm kind of a whiner when it comes to that. I might not look it, but I can't take. I've always said that woman could take pain more than us.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
You know, I have a brother. You say, speak for yourself, brother. So anyway.
Katie is sending her love from the UK. Thank you so much,
Nice,
Katie.
Thank you. Sending love right back to you.
She says, take care, Joe.
Thank you. You too, Katie.
All right. Thanks, Katie. And thank you, Joe. I'm going to spotlight Justin, who has his Talking Heads episode coming up. Justin, tell us what we can expect to learn from you right after the show.
Yeah, so in the Talking Head show, I'm going to be talking about building a team. A really important aspect of any project manager's day is how to build that team, how to get that team motivated, how to get them to work as a unit, and really important stuff. So we'll go through that in the half-hour Talking Heads show that we're doing right after this.
And Justin, for people who can't read your banner, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Best way to get in touch with me is you can email me at justin@justforyoutc, all spelled out, JUSTFORYOUTC.com. And that's for if you want any training in any software, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Teams, Outlook, you name it, or soft skills, empowerment, conflict management, time management, any of those types of courses. I'm happy to accommodate large companies, small companies, everybody in between. And if you want to get involved in the charity, the website is www.checkmatescharity.com. And we are we raise money and awareness for folks in the inflammatory bowel community and also the ostomy community. My email there is justin@checkmatescharity.com.
Good luck with it, Justin.
Thanks, Joe. I appreciate it.
Quite impressive. This guy is talented in so many ways. And it's not just because of tonight. My God, I call it the Swiss Army knife of talent. The guy has so many different, you know, when you get the Swiss tool, all the different things you pull out, that's this guy on 2 feet. Really,
Joe,
you have a lot to be proud of. You as well, Doctor, for the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Really
so much.
2 inspirations. And it's been quite an honor to be on here. I hope I did well.
The honor's ours.
You absolutely have. We hope that you'll come back and visit us on this show or any of our other shows.
Absolutely. I look forward to it.
And Katie says, brilliant, Justin. So there you go.
Thank you, Katie. Thanks for being a part of the show, too.
Thank you so much. All right, we're signing off right now. Please stay where you are. Justin and I will run to the other studio, and we'll be back shortly. Thanks again, Joe.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you both.
Thanks, Joe.
Have a good evening.
Bye. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.